thatmovieguyUK.
Beginning of the 21st century in cinematic history will always be referred to as the superhero era because we are bombarded with it. Even from simple movies like Ghost World to the grand movies of The Dark Knight, and obviously the Marvel Studio comic universe of Kevin Feige. This studio has grown from strength to strength and has made billions of dollars in income. In 2012, when Joss Whedon brought out The Avengers, or Avengers Assemble as we call it in the UK, which is a terrible title, I was like, wow, this is amazing, as in, he really brought the platform that Marvel still follow to this day. But the humour, the action pace, the tonal jumps of drama, comedy and action, it all is because of Whedon, and you can't really deny that. But since the Russo brothers brought The Winter Soldier out, which is personally my favourite MCU film, they have taken the helm forward then to developing Infinity Wars, obviously after Civil War, and again, I do not like Civil War that much either. I thought, okay, this is an interesting gamble for them. Does it pay off? Well, we'll talk about it. Obviously, the spoiler situation with the MCU at the moment has gone a bit too much, I think. People need to grow the hell up. I've even seen people like John Campea, who is meant to be, a professional journalist, having a massive rant and a moan about Forbes spoiling this film. If you don't read the spoiler, then it's not going to spoil it for you. The internet is full of trolls, yes, but if you have any form of self-discipline, then just stay away from these things for a couple of days until you see the movie. Just calm down. A brief synopsis for Avengers Infinity War. It does pick up from Thor Ragnarok, where Thanos' ship actually lands right where Thor's Asgardian lifeboat is there, and he decimates some Asgardians, and he's after Loki and the Tesseract, because obviously Loki took the Tesseract from Asgard after it got blew to smithereens in Thor Ragnarok. And we now are finding out that Thanos is ready to fill up his Infinity Gauntlet with all 6 Power Stones, which you should just go watch somebody else's reviews, because I really am not going to explain all of this stuff to you right now. And literally, he has to go to Earth, and Avengers need to be assembled again. That's it. That's all you kind of need to know. The positives, because I do have positives, which I was surprised by. I thought for a 2.5 hour film, this actually was quite fast. It was very comedic in a lot of elements, which I enjoyed, because it was actually quite laugh out loud humor. It wasn't like a kind of thing. It was like ha 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 kind of funny. And obviously the Russos, with their comedic background, especially with Arrested Development, you kind of have to understand that this is like their thing. And it felt very different to their previous 2 films. I felt like that they improved upon Civil War, but they never have gone better than Winter Soldier. And I still feel like the Russos' Winter Soldier is a far more superior film than Avengers Infinity War. Kill me now, dislike, I just don't care. I don't care anymore. And they really do mash everything out very nicely. Oh my god, there's so many superheroes in this film. I felt like they gave everyone a decent amount of time. Obviously the story unfolds it's very simple, and I think it's very necessary for this film, because if it got too complex, Infinity War would be a massive mess. It doesn't do that, which is good, and you cannot deny that the Russos have done a good job. The problem is when you have 2 directors that haven't directed most of these characters before, you create very boring kind of characters in some way, but you forget the roots and the origins that previous filmmakers have created for certain characters. And I felt like that was a bit of a shame, really, because if you imagine that people like James Gunn had more of an influence in the film, maybe things would have been a slightly more different for the Guardians, maybe. Or maybe Taika Waititi had a bit more influence on what Thor was doing. Maybe if it was more of a collaborative approach that Marvel took upon this film, maybe there would have been a bit more flesh to it, because it's very thin. It is a very thin line that they're treading on, as in the development of everything that they've built up for the last 10 years kind of falters here. And that is a bit of a shame, really, when you think about it. Most of you are going to say, I don't care what you're saying right now because I had a good time with the movie. Don't get me wrong, I had a good time with the movie, but I'm here to critique a film. I'm not here to be like, oh, this was amazing and this was amazing. If you don't critique a film, then you're not doing your job right. The Russo's tone of pacing can be quite strange because we're going from like a very humorous moment to something severely dramatic within the context of the film. And it just doesn't balance out. It's just weird that the tonal pace of the film just changes all the time. It's like moving from first gear to fifth gear straight away, or going from fifth down to second. It's just weird, and it can drag some parts, especially in the first half of the film. It does drag it out a bit too much, and you get a bit bored in some of the scenes, which in a Marvel full throttle kind of film, you don't want that. I expected Infinity War to be like the Two Towers in the Lord of the Rings franchise, as in like, because we know there's a second part coming, this was going to be a grand film that leaves us in a hole with, the film leaves us with 1,000 questions. Infinity War doesn't necessarily do that for you. And that's very weird. I thought I would be questioning more, or I'd be hopping on some forums or going online to like finding people's theories about what's going to happen next. As for the deaths in this film, I was actually kind of underwhelmed. I thought everybody's been building up who's gonna die, who's gonna be dead forever, and stuff like that, and you're like, well, that wasn't that many characters that died. That's not a spoiler, but damn, I just expected more death. With Thanos, I've read so many comics of Thanos, you just expect more death, and that is the shame. But on the point of Thanos, he is probably one of the strongest MCU villains there is. He is right up there with Michael B. Jordan, with Tom Hiddleston, and, well, obviously now Josh Brolin. He had so much conviction in what he was trying to achieve. It was interesting. And you get to understand why he's doing this. He really is against the whole galaxy. No one really is in accord with him about this, except for the Black Order. But you are just instantly just wondering, like, why is this man doing this? But the explanations that you get throughout the whole film kind of convince you that basically he is Hitler. But at the same time, the way that Brolin just gives so much passion towards Thanos, you actually empathize with him in some ways, not with genocide. We do not empathize with genocide, but you can see why he's so determined to do it. As for the visuals of the film, I felt like the battle on Wakanda and on Titan at the back end of the film, they were very well executed and it looked very good. The CGI wasn't too choppy, because there are some scenes in this film where the CGI is not at its best. You see Mark Ruffalo sometimes and you're just like, wow, is his like head just been like quickly photoshopped into this? Thanos looks a bit weird sometimes also, but within Wakanda and the battle on Titan, it's very good. I like the way that it jumps from one to the other, but there's like one long dramatic pause between the Wakanda fight and Titan that you're just like, wow, okay, I just want to go back to the fight. Obviously, I'm going to refer back to Two Towers. I felt like the Battle of Wakanda was going to be the Helm's Deep of this film, but I feel like the Battle of Helm's Deep is yet to arrive, and potentially will be the next one. As for the rest of the cast and the characters, I really liked Chris Hemsworth as Thor in this, because I felt like there was a lot more conviction to Thor's ambition to destroying Thanos than most of the actual Avengers. Within the Guardians, obviously, all of the Guardians have something against Thanos, and they actually have more of a reason to destroy him. Obviously, Tony Stark's PTSD has been kicking in since Iron Man 3 after the Battle of New York, and really, when you think about it, he is probably the only guy that has a real issue against Thanos within the actual Avengers themselves. And the rest of them are just there to help him, and obviously with Stephen Strange, who's not technically an Avenger yet, he has another reason for being there to take on Thanos. But I felt like Thor himself had like a massive part in this film, but they just didn't use him that much. But it was my favourite part of it. When he arrives at a certain point in the film, which I'm not going to spoil for you, I had goosebumps because I didn't expect that to happen. I thought he'd be somewhere else. It was kind of weird as well seeing people like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, not really being used as much, Scarlett Johansson even. They weren't really that utilised, and I feel like that their time on set wasn't as long as the usual for them. Seeing Mark Ruffalo a bit more, that was great. Tom Holland, I love him as Spider-Man, and I continue to admire what he's doing with the character. I don't really know what else I can say without spoiling things for you guys, because I don't want to spoil this movie for you. Stay away from spoilers and all that things. Oh my god. I don't want to carry on babbling about this film. I'm done. But overall, Infinity War is a good film. It's not amazing. It's not the blockbuster of our generation, or another generation. It is a good celebration of the 10 years of Marvel, and I'm very excited to see what Avengers 4 will bring to the table. I think there is a lot going to happen, most definitely. The end credit scene was amazing because a character that I have been waiting for a long time, and I am talking a long time, is finally arriving, and that for me is going to be an experience that I'm very excited about. So, have you guys seen Avengers Infinity War yet? Please let me know, because we like to talk about movies on this channel. And obviously my written review will be on my website, www.thatmovieguyUK, and it's also on my letterbox probably by now. And yes, please comment and talk to me about this film, because I am very intrigued to see what you guys actually think. And I really do want to see more people with negative reviews for the film, because I have not seen any yet. I would say my review was a lot more negative than the positives, but I did enjoy it. It's a good movie to go and watch with your friends, especially if you have dedicated so much time to the MCU, but it's not going to be for the people that hate this franchise, definitely, but there we go. I am actually going away on Sunday. I am going to Lisbon, which will be my second trip, and I am actually going to hang out with some friends while I'm there, but it is the Lisbon Independent Film Festival, so I'm actually going to go check out some films there while I'm there, because obviously that's what I do. And I'm going to vlog from Lisbon, so probably the next video that you will see will be next week, and it will be a little vlog from Lisbon, and if I go and see any movies, I'll review it in the vlog. So yeah, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? I hope. Travelling vlog. I like a good travel vlog. Anyway guys, so diolch, danke, obrigado, merci beaucoup, arigato, dankeschön, bitteschön, all the shuns, and obviously never change Lynn Ramsey for life.